What advice would you give a new CISO that would be coming into the role, specifically around insider threats detection, deterrence? What information or what advice would you offer?
It's two-pronged approach. There is the business side, because the business function is what's going to provide you the biggest risk regarding insider threat, because the business is going to want to do whatever they want to do. So you're going to have to address that issue. But then certainly there's the technical side, which is IT and cyber, which gets to, I think, what point Joe was making earlier about architecture. Like looking at your architecture to make sure that from the IT side, which cyber doesn't control typically, that the IT architecture is designed in such a way that critical data is encrypted. Rick, to your point, is segmented off, right? You only have 5 people accessing the data instead of 25 people accessing the data who need it, right? But I think it's specifically for insider threat programs, it's about 5 things, right? It's developing the enterprise program, which is sitting down with your executive team and saying, okay, we need a program for this. We need some person to be the quarterback who, when something goes sideways, they're on point to manage this program. The second thing is obviously identify the team, right? And that means, again, it's not just cyber, right? It's IT, it's HR, it's legal, it's the business owners. Right? All of a sudden they are on point here. If something goes sideways, everybody gets on the joint 1-800 call, oh crap, and start having a conversation, start figuring out what's going on. The third thing is really around doing a risk assessment. So from a CISO's perspective, looking at your organization from an insider threat point of view and doing a risk assessment. What are bad actors? Who are they going to after? What does their threat profile look like for me in the organization, for my executives in the organization? Just to identify and narrow down, because you can't get everybody. So let's start like a rock in a pond, right? You throw a rock in a pond, and that closest concentric circle is the one you focus on, not the 15 that go out in the pond. So as it says, so you focus on the most important data in that circle.
Yep. And
then go out if you need to. The really it's 1, 2, 3. Really is building out that process. The last thing is building out the program itself, which means obviously engaging those stakeholders that I mentioned earlier, but going so far as to actually build out a tabletop exercise. So one example comes to mind real quick is an organization I work with, and they saw the need for it, global company. They had a CISO, but the CISO wasn't too engaged in the process, but they knew they had to have a program plan in place. So what we ended up doing, long story short, was we created a series of playbooks once a month for 90 minutes. All the executives who had a stake in this, in the insider threat program, would get on a call and they'd walk through their playbook. So the CISO would monthly for 90 minutes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, and the CISO had the job of making sure the playbook was updated for everybody. Like, this is your role, HR. And would come up with an actually story plan. And the CISO would say, all right, everybody's on the call. All right, here's what I'm updating you on. We've got this breach. We found it in HR, blah, blah, blah. HR, what do you do? And HR turns to their playbook, page 17. Oh, I need to go do this and this and this and this and this. And that really helped the leadership, the stakeholders, understand that for 90 minutes a month, that's all we need you to do. We need you to know what to do, what page to turn to, and the CISO will take care of everything else.